Flesh and Blood can be a very expensive game. Today we're going to cover budget lists for Dash, who is actually probably one of the more affordable heroes in the game. There's a few reasons for this. The first is that she's actually not quite that strong in the meta. The other is that she mostly uses a lot of commons and rares for most of her deck building. And the third is that because of the boost mechanic, which is what most of her lists like to use, she actually can't use that many generics. So a lot of the high demand generic cards, Command and Conquer, Enlightened Strike, Art of War, are actually not usable in her deck. Boost Dash wants to overwhelm our opponent with a flurry of attacks, dumping out all of our hand for raw vanilla damage, but also still being able to block when needed to. The biggest payoff for this strategy is Maximum Velocity, a 2-cost and attack that ends out our massive chain to completely blow out our opponent. So now that we've identified Maximum Velocity as a win con in a boost strategy, we have to fill out the rest of the shell. To do this, we're going to run all of the staple boost cards that Dash likes to play. So this is going to be a full play set of Throttle, 0 to 60, and Zipper Hit. These are all common, so they're actually quite easy to acquire. And then moving into the rares, we're going to have some more important boost cards that are still on the curve. So High Speed Impact, T-Bone, Scramble Pulse. One more nice payoff in the boost strategy, Pulse Wave Harpoon. To help out our damage numbers a bit, we're going to be running a pair of Combustible Couriers, and then in the item slot in the deck, we're going to be running Paraspark of Genius, Teklo Core, and Teklo Pounder. Teklo Pounder will be your starting item, leaving you with one in the deck after you've started the game. These allow for you to have resources to play out your maximum velocity and also to consistently be buffing all of your damage with the Teklo Pounder. Moving into the equipment, which can often be the most expensive part of Flesh and Blood deck building, we're actually left with a lot of good budget options. Dash's best boots are Achilles accelerators, allowing her to get an extra action point when she needs to. Even the most tuneless will still run this card as a staple, and it's only a common. Mechanologist has yet to get a strong arm piece, and so we still to this day prefer Goliath Gauntlet in the arm slot, another common, which is also why Dash can be quite affordable to build. Hardened Cross Trap is banned. Best of the First Fist pretty much supplements the exact same game plan of getting 2 resources to play Maximum Velocity for free. Our headpiece will be Ironwrought Helm. If you would like to upgrade to a more tuned list, you would run Crown of Providence here. We have some AB in case if there's any wizard players. We have Null Rune Gloves plus Physiotronic Model I for a nice natural AB3. Plasma Barrel Shot and Talishar the Lost Prince are 2 weapon options. Plasma Barrel Shot is for slower, grindier games, allowing you to have very strong combo turns, whereas Talishar is for a racing game plan where you're able to consistently turn 2 extra resources at the end of your turn into 4 damage to swing at your opponent. At the time of recording this list is exactly $50 with the cheapest possible printings. Now, if you want to upgrade to CC, here is a nice list that's only a $10 difference, so not that expensive. There are some tweaks in the list, and this list is going to have 2 different game plans. So much like the Blitz list, we're going to have our boost plan where we're going to be just throwing damage at our opponent the entire game without stopping. And then there's going to be a sideboard plan where we're going to use her pistol items and some defense reactions and play a slower, grindier game plan. This will be good into decks like Warrior, Guardian, Assassin, anything where you think that the game may go longer. The boost strategy can eventually run out of cards since it requires you to banish from the top of your deck, and a slower game plan can actually help you out a lot here. If you want to learn more about Pistol Dash, I do have a video on my channel where I cover the overall game plan, how it functions, what its end game is, what its strengths and weaknesses are. Dash is a great hero to play on a budget, mainly because of her lack of expensive legendary equipment, or relatively cheap common boost cards that fill out most of her game plan, and also being a somewhat unpopular hero. However, just because she's unpopular in the meta doesn't mean that she's not fun. Dash has a lot of very interesting lines and plays a very fun and explosive game plan, something that probably would resonate with a lot of aggro players from other card games. Also, in Classic Constructed, the addition of the pistol sideboard plan adds a very fun engine building experience where you get to build up a very large pistol that attacks multiple times for large amounts of damage. These lists, of course, could be subject to change if any new cards are added or strategies change up. This right now is probably the best way to get into either constructed format on a budget. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, or if you just want to know more about the decks, feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, thank you for watching.